Hello everyone, welcome to the another session on the COBOL programming lecture series, which is lecture 2, guiding you through the fundamentals of COBOL Coding. I think we have cleared maximum of things in why COBOL. So now we are moving with the how COBOL, that how we are going to learn COBOL. And we have discussed many things in the previous lecture also, the data division about divisions, how division works, what are the things in the division, what are the program structure, what are the feature, what makes COBOL stand alone from other programming languages, and many more. So in this, we will be just going into deep dive features about that, what are the different things in that, and we'll be moving forward. So without wasting our time, we should move ahead. Okay. So yeah, before we deep dive into COBOL, let me introduce you to the company I am proud of to be part of, Programmers.io, established in 2012. That Programmers.io is a global software development firm specialized in both legacy and modern platform. Like we have been serving Fortune 500 clients for over a decade, providing comprehensive technology solution with a focus on customer satisfaction. Our enterprises span across various technology like IBM I, S400, .NET, PHP, and many more. Like we are committed to delivering value and excellence in every project we undertake. So this was a brief about my company. So let us move forward about the today's agenda. In today's lecture, we will be focusing on essential aspects of COBOL programming, especially that COBOL coding sheets and their historical significance, data items and their structure, and the role in COBOL programming, level numbers, and how they have been created in the data hierarchies in that, data names and variable, naming convention, best practices, and the role of COBOL in programs, that how is it is properly managed, the picture clause, and the value clause defining and initializing data, naming conventions and best practices for variables and constant. By the end of the session, you will have a deeper understanding of how COBOL handles data and manages it, and why it is continuing to play a critical role in business application. So if you are thinking that though we have been talking about big words, that how we are going to understand them, how we are going to be doing that. So don't get worried. We'll be just breaking that down everything in brief in this lecture. I can guarantee that if you see this lecture properly and understand that properly, you will be getting each and every concept about COBOL. And by the end of the series, this series is a bit this will be a long series of every COBOL concept you will be covering with every COBOL concept with me. So don't worry about that. We'll just moving like in the previous lecture, I also told that we are making the base. So now it is the more basic for the structure in that, like how the COBOL, how the structure will be made on the COBOL. Like if I take an example of uh, an ancestor, something like that, before going into a war or something like that, they used to sharp their knives and sharp their swords. So what we are doing, we are just exploring the things we know. We are just sharpening the knife and sharpening the equipments that we have. So for sharpening the equipment, we should be knowing that what are the equipments we have and how we can use that. So this is the that process only. Take that is a that process. Okay. COBOL, COBOL is a very simple language. You will be getting that very easily. So just say a bit relax and move forward with me. Okay. So the first is coding sheet. Like oh sorry. So the first is the coding sheet. Coding sheets have their roots in the punch card systems. Like while the punch cards are no longer used, the structure forming remains essential for the consistency and the readability. Like we have if you see like in the below image, there are 80 columns, like 1 2 3 4 5 6. Like we have another different things like sequence number area, indicator area, area A, area B, system generated numbers. So now we will be discussing that what is this, the like considered it whole as a punch card. Now we will be discussing what is and why it is format being used in that. So if we talk about the column 1 to 6, like which is sequence number area, if you can also see in the image, the sequence area number is originally used for numbering. on numbering line on the punch card. These columns help us to organize and track the code changes, especially in large collaborative projects. Okay, so you got that in or not? Like I will also explaining by writing that. And if we move towards the indicator area, which is the seventh position, it is basically special characters like asterisk marking, which are used to ignore by the compiler. Like it is a comment which we used in for that. And also we write hyphen in there for putting that across on long number of lines. Like why the special indicator area is, it is a comment area, like, which is used to put the comment in that, and by which we can just put asterisk in that and put comment that the compiler won't be reading that line. So it is like that. Okay. So and then we move to another column, which is area A, if we talk about, which is from 8 to 11, which is also called margin A. These are reserved for key handling like division, section, paragraph. These are things written there. And if we talk about the column area B, which is also called margin B, the area contains the main COBOL logic that we are going to write. So that what is it what is the historical context between the after that? The COBOL structure form ensure compatibility with older systems while maintain a disciplined approach to code. Like this is why we are brittle with the legacy system with highly reliable languages. Like if we take an example for that, just let me move towards the word file. Okay, so yeah, as we discussed about the margin area and that in the sheet that we have got. So just taking a short example in the like 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 like what I'm just explaining. You just give me a minute. I'm writing this. Okay, so yeah, like if we start from there, if we consider that at a zero position, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, it would be if you put a star here asterisk, like this is seventh position for that. Let's just let me put that above to explain more better. So like we are on now on the seventh position of that. Like if you put a star here and write this is a comment. Like every programming language has a different way to put comment in that. Like COBOL uses this to put the comment in that. Like we just put asterisk in that, and this line will be word comment. Like compiler would be directly ignoring that. It is called a comment. And like we talked about the data area in this, that how data area in been working. Like the 8 to 12. The things are 8 to 12, which is like we were in data division. Like it is for the data divisions and for that. Like we talk about the margin A, reserved for key handling like division, structure, and paragraph, like which have been starting from that. So it is reserved for that. Like if I talk about I have been we have discussed about in the last section about working storage section, which comes under the data division. So we will be also writing that working storage section. So it will be also starting from the area A, which is the eighth position. Okay. So like I hope it has been clear from that. Like from 8 to 12, it is data area A, and then 12 to 72, it is area B. And from 1 to 6, it is just been we just put that blank, because why we put that blank, I like I've explained it before, but I will be just repeating that. Like putting for numbering punch card. Like these columns help us to track the code changes, especially in large collaborative project. Like let me take an example. Like if we have wrote 5,000 lines or 10,000 lines, like, and you have gave me a program of 10,000 lines to a developer to just manage that. And if the developer wants to make some changes in that, like if he wants to like that this functionality I want to add new for that, and the code of that is of 500 lines. Okay, you got that? The code is of that is 500 lines. He wants to add the 500 lines. So in the existing code of 5,000 lines, he want to, oh, it was 50,000. In 5,000, he wants to add more 500 lines. So total approximately it would be 5,500. So how the 500 lines will be standalone? That how we can identify that what where the code changes is. So the first thing is that you can put the comments in that this is admin from this functionality, and the another method to know that like this 6 lines we can just put a tag or something like that. Like I can just write simple new 5. Okay, got that? Like new 5. Like what is new 5? Like it is a functionality that which I added before, and I can just add that in the file like new 5 is equal to code changes. Okay, yeah, spelling mistake. Change changes of 500 lines. So whenever the new programmer or new developer will be coming, so he knows that yeah, the existing code was of 5,000 lines, and the new developer has added 500 lines in that, which is new 5. So he can directly search the new 5 in that. So that is why it has been used in understanding. Like if we are writing 5 lines code or 100-line code, it would be not worth it. That why we are using that. But when we are using complex codes of more length like 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, like I have seen many programs which have that length. So I know how much it becomes difficult when we are moving that. Like in coming forward, we will also making some programs. So and we will be adding tags in that and the things in that. So at that time, you will also run with yeah, that is the important feature in that. And what the tags doesn't affect with the compiler. That whatever tag you are adding, it doesn't go relevance with the compiler. Whatever you're writing after the comment, it goes with the compiler. And if it is an asterisk or star, it is a comment line. So the entire line would be not be read in the compiler. So I think like it is a bit clear how coding sheets work in this and what is the basic coding sheets. So yeah, just moving to the another part of it. Let me erase that and go to another presentation again. Yeah, you were here. So I think now it is bit clear to you everyone, like how the why sequence area number is a number area is a bit relevance in that, why indicator area is in a bit relevance, why area is important, why area B is important, why water system generated numbers. We have discussed everything in detail about that. I think it is clear. So just now moving ahead with that. So the coding sheets, we have like we already discussed this. Like we are just taking a look of that into that. What is coding sheets? 1 to 6 sequence area reserved for line numbers. 7 indicator area, it contains asterisk indicates comment and hyphen indicating continuation for the comments. 8 to 11 is the area A for all COBOL programs, like program section divisions will be starting from the area A only. It must begin from the area A. And area B contain the main logic of the program, like statements and everything like that. And 73 is identification area. It should be used by the programmer. Like if you can use tags and comments, something like that. Yeah. I think it's clear now. So just moving ahead with that. Yeah. So now we'll be moving with the data items. Like what is data items? Like we have previously discussed that where do we declare that data? We declare that in the data division. There is a working storage section. We declare the data there. We have discussed a lot in that. But how we declare? Like in another languages, there are different things. Like you have written many things that in the colorful format. What is this? So we will be just explaining that as what is this. So if first we go with the level number, that what is level number in this, and what is the variable pic, picture clause, PIC pic we have written. We have what is data character length, value clause, and what is value. We will be discussing everything in that. Firstly, yeah. Firstly, we'll be just moving with the level number. We'll be just taking the level number. Like we will be taking that part by, because to understand everything, we need to understand few things before that. So just we will be moving first with the level number. That what is level number is. So just starting with the level number. So what is level number? Level number having structured data hierarchy, making it easier to group related data item. Like how how defined that related to each other, allow you to build complex data structure with ease. Like if we talk about the data level numbers, it can the level number from, like you can see on the image, like level number start from 1 to 49 and are used to define hierarchy of data items. Data items with a level number 01 considered as a group item. It means that contain sub items with lower level such as 0, 5, 10, 15, and so forth for that. And another level number is 66, sorry. The level number is used to rename clause. That what is rename clause we will be discussing in future. So just for now, just understand that, keep your in mind that 66 level number is for the rename clause, which allow you to create alternate names or group numbers existing in that. And 77 level number, this level defined standalone data items which are the not part of group for that often. And then 88 level number, this level is used to create condition names like act in the Boolean flags represent, which is used in a conditional statement only, which is the 88 level number. Okay. So yeah, I think we should go to the practical representation of that. Like it will be easy for us to explain it a bit fast in that. Okay. So yeah, if we talk about the level number, so 01, as we discussed in that, like 01 is a record descriptive entry on that. So like if I take a variable name employee rec, like employee record, and I want 05 PM name, I will be explaining you. You can just let him give me a minute to write this. Like these are the basic things. Like if like starting we feel like the how much long complex it is, but when we get used to it, it is very simple. Just is a matter of that we should get used to of it. When you're it is first in your mind, it is no problem with that. We will just playing with that. Okay. So yeah, it is written. Just let me increase the font size. So I think it is, yeah, is good. Okay. So like if it take like this is if take this that there is example of payroll system and we are working on that. Like the first variable I have declared, which is a employee record. It is the group item considered various of field to an employee. Like an employee has a different things. Employee has age, employee has name, employee has home, employee has address, employee has salary, employee has his personal detail, professional detail, office address, many things an employee has. So for the employee record, I have declared a variable which is on the top, which is start from level 01. it starts from level 01 for our explanation. And then we are moving with employee detail is a subgroup within the employee record and contain further details like employee salary and that. So the employer reg is the main group and which contain employee name and employee age and also contain the employee details. And the employee details consider a subgroup within it, which contain employee salary and employee department. That why level number matters, if we talk about why it matters. So like it is the thing that we understand that what is the level number we are using, how it is being defined, how we are working in it. So this kind of thing will explain with the level numbers. Like, okay, so yeah, this is the main record. This is the sub record that we are just just handling into that. And this is the another thing that we have been working. This is the another subgroup of that into that. And what one thing we are just doing with the level number, like there are some predefined level numbers and there are some auto defined level numbers. Like predefined, like these are defined for a specific purpose or a specific thing. And the level number which are not defined, which we can use anything with our respect or our reference, that how we want to use that. Like if we talk about the 88 level number, it has been used for the conditional statements only. That we only was using that. It has been defaulted for the right conditions and everything. Like if we talk about the employee record number, like 01, 01 is the first level number that we start, and it would be grouping like. And one more thing I want to just address, like if the level number is this, we are just moving with the forward with this. Like it is 05, and when we are making a subgroup, like it would be 010, and if we are want to make another subgroup in that, it would be level number 20, 2016. Up forward with that. We can't go backward in because it is not in the naming convention of first. So it's just really going forward with this. I hope it is clear to you that how level number works in this. Yeah, I hope it is clear to just moving, seeing a bit detail in that. What is the general purpose, like this, how the level number will be. Like, we have already discussed the 0, 1 to 49. It is general purpose level number, which used to declare regular variables like having 0, 1 characters in the ascending order. We can use that, and some are the predefined level numbers, which is 66, 77, and 88. These variables are used to declare special purpose, which I also put it down. That's the default level numbers. It is used to collect, like 66 is the used for another connecting and removing element, that it is used for specifically for the rename clause. We will be just moving forward. We will be seeing what rename clause is. 77 level number, it is used to declare individual variable, uh, like in the variable we have declared that it can be subdivided into another group. But if we are taking 77, we can't divide that sub into a subgroup. It is the only the last level number we have. And if we talk about the 88 level number, it is defined by the condition name for the specific value and the set of values under the variable. When we are just talking about the condition, then we use 88 level number. I think the level number is been clear to you, that why we use level number and what is the sequence, what is the sequence in that. If it is not clear, don't worry. We'll moving forward, we'll be just more discussing about that. We'll be more clear in that why we use level numbers. Now the data name, that what is the data name we have just pushing down, like just let me go toward that variable. Like here in the example, it is written WS where. So it is a variable. It is also called as data name or variable. Data name and variable are the same thing. But what is the data name is should be. Like in COBOL, data names are represented in the location, like used in the storage location. While variables are a placeholder that can hold the difference value during the program execution. We should choose clearly descriptive names like crucial improving for code reliability and maintainability, like which gives us the clear instruction that what data name we are using, like what is the purpose for that. There are some basic data rules also for declaring a variables, like which is like the data name, the variable name should not begin with hyphen, and cannot end with a hyphen, cannot be reserved, cannot be reserved word. Like if I talk about COBOL, COBOL is a bit insensitive, case insensitive language. Like if we talk about what if we write Harshit in caps, Harshit in like my name Harshit in the entire caps, it is same, and Harshit in small letters, it is same. So it is a bit insensitive. So we don't worry about that what structure we are writing. It doesn't matter in that. So, but the best practices is like here in the image also there have been example. And what are the valid example and what are the invalid examples in that? Like WS name. When I want to declare a name, I put that WS name. Like there is something value of name, something like that. Total student, total hyphen students. If there are number of total students, 800. Like 800 is a variable that I will be using in that. 100B will be a variable that I will be using that. Move, like invalid example, if we take move, basically we can't use the reserve words in that. And move is a reserve word, compute is the reserve word, 100 is not alphabet, we can't put just directly put number in that. 100 plus b plus sign is not allowed, so we also can't use that. And what is the importance of variable? Let me just tell you. Variable allows programs to store and manipulate the value dynamically during the execution. Like they are used for calculation, number checking, data input output method, proper naming, and consistent using a variable, like which is reduce the error and making the code more maintainable. Okay, like if we talk about a practical scenario, just take an example. Imagine you are creating an inventory system and you are using descriptive variables like inventory count, item price, item store, item quantity, like ensure that everything is easily readable. Like if you want to search something, you know that if you are reading a new developer also is reading something. Like what is inventory name? Okay, it is some variable which has inventory name. What is inventory count? It is count of the inventory. So it should be self-affirmative. Like it should be giving self-awareness. What are the things in that? Is moving ahead with that. Data names and variable. We have discussed that in details for that model. This system, individual group and data item. We have discussed already discussed that in the presentations and the presentation. Like now we will understanding what is picture flow. It is also important aspect of the COBOL programming variable declaration. Like the picture clause which we write PIC pic clause, we can also use that pic clause is a critical element in COBOL that define the data structure, size, and the format of the data item. Like act as a template and tell the compiler how to store the data and manipulate data. Like if you are seeing in the image, component of picture clause are if you want a numeric data, you will be just writing 9. Like if you want a alphanumeric data, you would be writing X there. If you want to just put an alphabet, like you know that there would be only alphabet. Like you have declared a for name, you have declared a WS name variable. So you know that name can not be in numbers. It will be always in alphabetic only. So you have declared that in alphabetic. We talk about it is the decimal values you want to indicate. S is a sign bit that which stores a sign in that, and P is a assumed decimal in that. Let me take you another slide like here. When I showed you the example, I just ignored talking about this. I just talked about the level number. Like there was a reason for behind that because we have not known about that. We just like now we are explaining everything about it. So this is the level number we talked about. This is the variable name we talked about. That how we like this is also an employee record. By this we can I know that it is employee record, employee name, employee age, affirmative variables that they know. Now we talked about picture class. That what picture class like before after of the variable name we need to write the picture class. Like this is x30, so it would be it can store variables. Also can store word of word or number of length 30 picture class 2. And if we talk about the picture class 9, like we already discussed here, 9 is for the numeric. Like it it can only put uh, a number in that, which is of 2 lines. Like here, the number you are seeing inside, it is defined that what is length of it, the number, and after that, it defines what is the data type of it. Like it is numeric. 9 means numeric, and length is 2. Okay. How did I know that length of 2? Because in bracket I have written 2, and here I have written 30. So it means that it is a bit 30. You can just put that 30 words, 30 letters into that. And it is an alphanumeric characters which we are using. And we can for numeric, we can also like we have declared like let's put that on. So declare that and that we type in by like if you write single line and put a period after that, like it can only store a single digit value. If you put double line, it means like it can store double digit value. If you put triple line, like it can store triple digit value inside it. So like this is the thing and that, and this is a bit tricky also and logical also that we are putting three, the maximum value it can store is triple nine, which is a three digit value. You can also take that as that. Okay. So I think now it is a bit clear to you that what are the things we are talking about and what is the thing about, right? Like, yeah, here in the data items, we talked about level number, the variable that how variable is made, the picture clause, the data characters that what is the data type kind of character. Like this is an example for you that what is 01 variable, like this variable name, picture clause, X is the data type, like alphanumeric data would be there, and of length 10. And now this was it. Now will we understand what is the value clause in this? Like what value clause do it is to talk about it on the superficial level. And now we will be discussing on the deep down like what value clause do. Like it gives a predefined, like pre-assigned value to a like variable is not been used yet. But before using that variable, it has a value in it. So it is done by the value clause in that. That is called the value clause. And then we write value and then write the clause. Until let's just move in it in a bit detail. Okay, so now yeah, here it is. Basically, value clause in global is used to initialize a data item with a default value at the time of declaration. This helps to ensure to consistent behavior and prevent the use of uninitializing variable, which lead to unpredictable result. Like if you sometimes you forgot to put the value or assign the value in that. So it should be a pre-assigned value. Like I know that if there should be nothing, there should be this value. So I'm just putting that. Like if we are in the take an example, like if we are in supermarket. So there are 10 things, 10 classes for the, you have been categorized system into the 10 classes like A, B, C, D, D. And the default class is Z. Like if it doesn't lie in all the 10 classes, you can just put that into Z. So you have assigned that into the Z class initially only. Like if it would be considering, it would be overlapping the value. But if it doesn't, it has its own value, which is Z. So like in the example also, we have just declared a value, which is like we have talked about what is V. V is the decimal portion in that. So what V does is it gives a point in that. So the value we can store is double digit before the decimal, which can store, but it is only 3.5 at this moment. So you can, and for another example, it is WS name. In the picture clause, it is A6, so it can have six values in that. A, B, C, D, 01, WS ID, picture clause 99, value 0. It can be 0, the value can be anything. But like, do one thing is coming in your mind when we are talking about this? Like if you take the second example, every example in that, like what happens to another value if we have declared a variable of 10th length and we are using only 4? What is happening to the another six digits? Is this coming in their mind? It is just when we will be doing practical, we will be again raising this question, and then we will be doing the practical implementation of that. And you can also comment below if you have the answer of that. Like like I also told you that COBOL is a bit understandable language. So like in the last example, you can see it is WSID, pick clause 90 and value 0. So they have not mentioned numerical 0, but you can also write directly 0 in that. So I've explained you why initializing also matter in the practical case, that why we use that, and the why it needs a default value and something like that. I think now it is clear to you. So just basic name convention for the variables. Like we have talked about it a much. Just going towards something better in that, to understand it superficially. I have told you about a bit about the give the idea and everything about it. So I'm going to understand that, but in the technical terms in that. Like consistency naming convention for variable are crucial for making a COBOL program easy to understand and maintain. There are the some key consideration like we're talking about. Like if we talk about the user default name, like every variable should ensure clear name for the purpose. Like if I'm giving customer name, so customer hyphen name instead of where name, because every time we have a habit like we just write where name, variable one, where two, variable two, where three, where five, where six. So what is that? Instead of this, just give a name like customer hyphen name. So like everyone will be knowing that it contains the value which has a customer name. Avoid reserved words. We cannot use reserved word. Code, do not use reserved word as a variable name. Follow constant format in that, like established naming convention that are followed throughout the program. You can't change again and again that. Like don't give ambiguous names. Like many people, what they are doing, they are giving ambiguous names. Like they have given temp, like variable temp, and another giving x. So these are the, it can be ambiguous when we are declaring things. It can be ambiguous and it can be making difficulty when you are writing the program. Inconsistent naming, switching between the names within the program can cause confusion. Like we are sometimes we are writing x temp y z, so it is causing confusion for us. Like and like take that in a bigger scenario. Like take an example of enterprise system. Like naming convention help multiple developers who are working on the same project. Like if 10 people are working on enterprise management project, so it will be confusion and a condition of dilemma that what here, like he has declared a very where one. So what is where one in that? So rather than place of one, if you have written customer slash name, so you know that it is the customer name. I think the naming convention is clear to you now. So now we will just best practices for the variable and the constant so we can declare. We're discussing like most of the points we have covered. Just going through a bit technically into that. Like variable and constant practice enduring reliability and maintainability in the code we have discussed already. Using respective names like constant and variable should have different name and indicate that what is the purpose of that. Like there should be not ambiguous names in that. We should be using another name in that. Group related variable like group variable should be a logical and the another sub variable should be different. So it would be easy to read. Initializing variable constant, like always initialize variable before using that, it will be having a default value in that. Like limited scope, I think like I also discussed with the value clause when we were talking. Declare the variable that much is needed. Like if you know the year we are talking, you are giving year of WS9 length. So it is out of no use because you know the year will be of only 4 length. Like if it is 2024, so it will be 2024. So you are wasting the rest of things. Avoid hard coding values. Don't code it. Code the constant directly. Just put them. Rather than that, just put the value of that or something like that. Okay. Now just coming to the last, I think the last slide of the session. Like we're just taking a quick recap that what we have learned in that because the session was a bit long. Just moving towards the first slide. Like on the agenda, what we have decided to move and what we have just done. Like we went through the COBOL coding sheets and their structure format and went to the data items and how they define data in the COBOL programs. Level numbers for creating and managing hierarchical data structures like data names, variable, and best practices for naming them. And also discuss about the picture clause, that how a picture clause is defined in the format, and the value clause in initializing the variables with the different value. Then we'll discuss about the naming conventions of the variable, best practices for the things and how would be doing that, how we can, what is the best practice to declare a variable and a constant. And by understanding these concepts, we have taken a step closer to the fundamental, like to the foundation element, fundamental of COBOL programming. So, like in the coming session, we'll be just moving, taking a look to the conditional statement and how conditional are being used. Like now you have the idea. Now it's time to write a sample program first in that. Like how the sample program is being used, how we are going to write first program. So stay tuned with us. Now we will be writing the first sample program into the thing, into the system. Like anyhow, configure that which system we will be using, the things we'll be using. So we will be just putting that in the lecture series 3, that which system we are using in that, and how we will be compiling the first COBOL program. Like we have seen the output, what output comes in the sample programs, but sample program gives a different vibe. We will be writing some practical COBOL programs with you. Also, just stay tuned with us for that. Thank you for the joining session. Stay tuned for the next part in the journey of learning COBOL from zero to hero series.